date. I would like to introduce to you our next speaker. I met him through a congress in October where it was focused on AI, where he spoke specifically on hospitality and centralizing your customer care agents to improve customer experience. So I'm very glad he found the time to be here today. I'm very excited, and please welcome Stijn van Boxtel on stage.
Thank you, Brechtje. Can you all hear me? Yeah? I love the networking part. We even saw 4 people together networking instead of 2, which is great. 2 seconds. 2 seconds is all we need to make a lasting first impression. 2 seconds is also what you need for the first impression of me. I want to take you back to a very groundbreaking research at Stanford University. 3 groups of students were having a class from the same professor. One group of students saw this professor for a whole day, 8 hours. The second group of students saw the professor for just merely one class, 50 minutes or so. The third and the final group saw this professor for just 10 seconds. Once the class was over, they're receiving a survey. What do you think of the professor? Do you think he has sympathy? Do you think he is knowledgeable? He has a certain type of authority? Groundbreaking results. Nearly all the results on the questions were the same. So if you were only seeing this professor for just 10 seconds or a whole day, that impression was still the same. This was the start of a nationwide research. Different universities, different landscape, commercial as well, industrial. And they found out it's not about even 2 seconds or 10 seconds, sorry, it's about 2 seconds. 2 seconds to make that first impression. And also 2 seconds to make it or break it. 21, 22. Experience, very good, high, enthusiastic, or experience low, and we need to work, and we need to push. These 2 seconds and a lot of other things in a human contact, communication is what I call hospitality. And hospitality is also something we want to talk about today. Because in a world of digitalization and systems and software, and we see it right now as we speak with Cloudforce, systems sometimes fail. Whereas humans, we make impact. The customer is always first. The customer is our top priority. This is what we often hear in organizations and in teams. But what happens if we put the customer first? We put the employee, our colleague, our team, who needs to look after that customer, on place second. And the supplier, who supplies us with the software, the goods, and the systems, comes at third place. Whereas we need everybody just equal as part to look after our customers every day. So I think this is also where lies the challenge for us. Because if we put our customer first, we don't look after our employees as much or our suppliers. And I would like to say we need to put the human as the center of every organization. Whether you buy from us, whether you buy from the media house, whether you work with your colleagues as a team from the media house, or if you supply the media house, everybody is equally important. What we see in organizations, and over the past 4 years, we've been giving trainings and we've given presentations, that every team, every organization is playing a game. And I want to take you through 2 games that we see are being played. On the left side, we see customer checkers, damme in Dutch. On the right side, we see hospitality or hospitable chess. We're going to zoom in on both of the games. And I'm curious to see also what type of game are you playing. We're going to start with customer checkers. Organizations that play checkers have only one thing in mind: euros, money, fulfilling the transaction. People who work in an organization or in a team that is very commercial focused, they're the piece in the center. Damschijf, damstuk, as we say in Dutch. But they only have a few steps to make, because checkers, it's quite a simple game. You can go straight or you can go diagonally. And the purpose is always to come across the board. You have done, you put a second piece on top of it, and then the game is quickly done. Employees who work in these types of conversations or organizations, they have strict frameworks, strict procedures to go to that transaction. Clients or customers who are buying from these type of organizations, they do not really feel anything with these types of organizations because an employee has only limited responsibilities. And it turns out that the presence of AI, as researched by Harvard, does not mean there's an increase in customer satisfaction. Having models, having guest journeys, having personas in place, it helps us. But what does it do if it doesn't work anymore as we're hoping to? All those models and software and programs in place actually shows that an employee in these types of conversations and organizations feel a bit pressed, even stressed out. Because what do I need to do? What is the next step? In every dialogue with a customer, they're thinking about the next step in that framework. But if we think about the next step in the framework, we're not really thinking about the customer. And what is your motivation to call me? And what is your motivation that you are looking for contact with me? And how can I help you as best as possible? Therefore, these types of organizations, they're very much a rational way of thinking. They use the left side of the brain. And if we have another procedure and another software and another step in the procedure, then it should be okay. If we have another persona, then we have all the personas in place and we can look for everybody. But customers sometimes are very difficult. They don't behave the way as we want them to behave. In an ideal world, it would be nice. I see you smile, but we know differently. Yes, of course, some personas, they behave like we're supposed to, but the majority of them are not. So what happens if a customer is behaving differently, but we have a set of frameworks? We're not, as a person who works at Medihuis, we're not the queen of subscription, but because we're talking about frameworks and I'm thinking about the next step, we experience stress. Stress on how I can help the next customer. And I only have 20 seconds, and the next phone is ringing, and I have another 20 seconds. This is where we see employee engagement is dropping. And I want to experience something completely different because a lot of organizations are playing these types of checkers. They have software, they have systems in place, but they forget the dialogue. They forget the connection that you can have between your customer and an employee. And if we don't see something happening frequent, conversations and dialogue becomes scarce. And what becomes scarce is becoming an art. And something, when it's becoming an art, it becomes more valuable. And it can be a USP of us. If we are able to connect with our customer every day, one customer every day, we are getting a huge competitive advantage. And that's why I would like to invite you to play chess every day. And I love it because when we spoke about the queen of subscriptions, the queen is the centerpiece of a chess plate. So here, every employee, every team member is the centerpiece of what we do, day in and day out. And as we see, I'm talking you through it. At Customer Checkers, we are focused on the transaction, focused on the money. In hospitality, we are also focused on the money, but it should be a result of the experience that we're giving them. It should be a result of the conversations that we have, and we want to help them. And then the transaction will follow. If we give every employee a certain type of freedom, a certain amount of freedom to move around and having a conversation, trust will do great things. And yes, don't get me wrong, right? We shouldn't throw away all the procedures and the SOPs and the software. That's the baseline. But then we need to have experience and freedom on top of it for every employee to make decisions of themselves so they can get responsibility. And what we say here is one size fits one. And not one size fits all, because then we miss out on the connection with our customers. And then we focus on the long term, because what happens if you have a good experience at an organization? You will tell. Yeah. To how many people you will tell it? Many. All right, I like it. If we have a nice experience, right, we're not just queen of subscriptions, we're also not queen of stress, but we're queen of service. And once we're queen of service, people will tell it. Indeed, to a lot of people. And I'm going to tell you how it goes. Research has shown that if you have a 9+ experience, you've been somewhere and you thought this was great, or this interaction has been good, you will tell, in a period of time, to 105 people around you. Not directly to 105, but to 5 people. Oh, I had an experience somewhere, it was great. Initially, the experience wasn't good, so I called customer service, customer care, but they handled it well. Those 5 people, in a multiplier, they will tell it to 3 or 4 people around them. You know, at NRC, I didn't have any experience, but a good friend of mine, they called customer care. They had a product. They've been helping, like, it was top. You should try it out. And then you have another multiplier, somewhere in the football team. I haven't done it, but a friend of mine has been in touch with the customer care, and it was great. If there's anything, give them a call. They'll help you for sure. And this is only from one good experience. Can you imagine what we can do if every interaction we try to aim for the best? It's like an oil. And if we spread it, they'll tell us about it. It's a marketing machine, but it's an offline marketing machine instead of online. I want to tell you, I'm just going one slide back. I'm going to tell you, 2 days ago, I was at Simply Red in the Ziggo Dome. And I took my mom. It was very nice, and we had good quality time. But I had to wait for her at Amsterdam Amstel. And I had to wait 25 minutes at the train station. And 25 minutes is too long to wait on the track, but 25 minutes is also too short to do actually anything, because before you know, the train is there. So I went down to Amsterdam Amstel station and to the F&B area. And you have Julia's, you have the Albertijn, you have the Burger King, and I wanted to sit down. And I scanned and I saw Starbucks. And I'm not a big fan of Starbucks, I'm going to be very honest with you. Don't really like the coffee, I think it's a bit overpriced, and I don't really like all the news about the CEO and the Union Labour Party. But I went in there to have a sit for 20 minutes, and it was a big sign. And it said, only you can sit with a consumption. And I was like, yeah, well, I don't want anything, so you have 2 options. Either you sit down sneakily and hope they don't see you, and you're like, okay, with the risk that somebody will come to you and say, sir, you need to have a consumption, or you get out. Option 2 is, well, you go away and you find another place. I went actually for option 3. So I went to the gentleman behind the desk, and I said, you know, I don't want to consume anything, actually, but I want to sit here. Is that okay? He said, sir, have a seat. I'll bring you a cup of water. So it seems like you consume something. Stay as long as you want. What he did was, and I'll take him back to the board, he could have said to me, customer checkers, you need to have a consumption, my friend, other way you're out. What he did, he understood me. And he said, well, it's okay, I understand where you're coming from. 25 minutes is okay. I'll just give you a cup of water, glass of water, it's fine. Have a seat, as long as you want. Especially those last words, as long as you want, makes you feel like, oh, okay, relax, nice, good. And I gave him a compliment. I said, I love the way you approach it. And every day we have these types of conversations. In a private life, family, but also in a professional way. And what I'm looking for is to gather these stories. So I want to ask you to speak to your neighbor, and you are chatty, I know, from the connectivity activity. I want to know, when did you experience something like this in your workplace? Whether it's with an employee, with one of your team members, or whether it's in a connection with a guest. Discuss it with your neighbor to see if you have an example like I had with Starbucks in a professional way. We do for a few minutes. Ja, natuurlijk. All right. Thank you very much, guys. You did prove me right. So, without any microphones, because it's quite an intimate setting, who heard something from their neighbor, a story that you would like to share, that you think, oh, this is cool, I want to share it? Well, if you heard something, you're like, yeah, this was kind of cool to mention. We won't tell it anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you had a proper experience even before you worked there. Am I saying it right? Yeah. Can you remember how it made you feel? Well-being, yeah. Being appreciative, yeah. If you get that feeling as a customer or as an employee, it's great. If you're being seen, if you're being heard, if you're being appreciated, awesome. How's it for you?
Yeah, we just said we have some older customers which want to start reading digital, and they get the tablet and they have problems with how to manage it, and we invite them to come, and we send one of the agents always to the front desk, and
let's go.
We give only the support for our products. We cannot do the tablet for sure, but these kind of customers, they appreciate that you take 5-10 minutes just to come to the front desk and explain how is the app working, how can you use it. To get a lot of super good feedback for the agents, because you make them maximum happy with this short 5 minutes that you give them. Yeah.
I love it. And I see a lot of heads also nodding like, oh yeah, this is good, this is good. Because you're also doing it in the back, I assume, because you're nodding like crazy, so it's good. Yeah.
We have the same older customers who don't know how to use the digital.
Yeah.
And my neighbor told me about the customer service at NRC.
Yeah.
And sometimes they even go around people's houses to help the older customers
Wow.
with digital products.
So, okay. Yeah, that's a big applause. Indeed, indeed. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else goes to actually physical house of a customer? No, it's unique. What is the response? Okay. Yeah. 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 There might be a shock of surprise, like, well, what are you doing here? And then it's appreciated. Yeah, wow, well done. In the middle, Where did you speak about? Love it.
I'm searching for the name, but if you are working for Media Nederland in Amsterdam, you are visiting a bunker.
Okay.
So it's quite hard to come in.
Yeah.
But there's working some woman behind the desk.
Okay.
And she has such a good vibe, and such a good energy, and she remembers always your name. And if you're picking up people, she's always happy, and if you go home, they always shout to you. So she's doing a very tough job because we are living in a very difficult building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not the one from yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Margaretha, and she works on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
I even ask my customers or clients to come on these days.
Yeah.
On the desk because it's a warm welcome you get. So also for the company, it's great branding.
And can Margaretha stay there? Yeah. And can she work 40 hours also, or only 2 days?
She works on.
Yeah. But how amazing. Yeah. She doesn't even know right now that we're talking about her. Can you imagine the force of just a warm welcome on its own? And even because I like the way you say it's a bunker. You know, we live in a bunker, we work in a bunker. So the walls, the chairs, our reception desk, we cannot change instantly. Our behavior towards people, we can change it in a second. And she's been great at this. Yeah. All right. What does it do with your guests that you invite on those days? Yeah. Yeah.
And they feel heard. She's into small talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best thing is when they will come visit the bunker again in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
She will remember the person.
Yeah. That's incredible.
What he or she was wearing the last time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And the thing that we don't control is how people will enter the bunker. You know, they had a stressful trip, maybe a stressful day at home, then they come to the bunker, they have a conversation, an appointment with you. And I like this name, working title, the bunker. But we cannot control the day they have, but we can control that warm welcome and how they will go into that appointment. So if you have a difficulty conversation or business, she will put the first step for you. And your conversation might be getting easier because people will getting a better of emotion. Okay, last one before we move on. Any other example? Gentleman in the back, on the right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. You cancel it. Yeah. Yeah. So you step out of the procedure to get that extra step in for them. Yeah. 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 Great example, because grief and death and mourning is a heavy subject, you know, it's tough. People are vulnerable during those times, sensitive during those times, and I think setting a step like this is very much appreciated. Yeah. Well done. Yeah. So every day we encounter these opportunities, these signals to do something with it. And yes, we might be the one, you know, to see and to think about, hey, this is a signal and I want to do something with it. But we also would like to have all our team empowered to make these decisions. So I want to talk a little bit about it. This is a tree. This is your organization that you work for. And we can see it's blossoming, right? Green leaves, the branches are growing. And this is where our guests, our customers, but also we as a human being would like to work and come back to and have fun in the workplace. Below, we see the roots. And what we see on top, so we see the branches, we see the leaves. This is what we like to call external hospitality, is what we can feel. So Margaret was her name, the receptionist? Margareta. Thank you, Margareta. She is the one that we actually see and feel. So other customers and guests and employees see Margareta working. Now, this is called external hospitality because this is where we can grow as a team, where our guests are happy, but also where we have a sign of a healthy organization, which is proactive hospitality initiatives. I really see this as a sign of a healthy organization because once somebody is proactively saying, hey, we might be doing this, or this might be even better because they have the experience, great job. If we don't see these signs yet, it is time to work on the internal hospitality. And these are the roots. Our colleagues, our diversity on the work floor, the facilities that we have, the freedom of somebody to make a decision once it's necessary, but also the trust. Can I make a mistake from time to time? Is that okay? And do I feel the connection? We need to work, especially as leaders, very hard to have these roots, because this is the root that keeps the tree growing. And sometimes we can face difficult times. Staff is leaving, somebody is getting ill, we need to do extra jobs, extra activities, but also financial times. Sometimes when it's tough, okay, we need to push through as a team. And now as we speak, Cloudflare is out. So the hotline is open. You know, this is a tough time at this moment as we speak. We're sitting here. Feels guilty sometimes, like, okay, can we help them? But the stronger the roots, the tree can move around a bit. It's okay, because we go through all the seasons in life. Business goes through life and the seasons as well. So if we look after those the roots, the tree can blossom. But how do we do it? Just one single word, and that is attention. To give and to receive attention. And it's a bit vague and a bit abstract. So I want to take you through in how we can give those attention to our team and also to our customers. Does anybody know the still face experiment? Can I see some hands? Yeah? A little bit? Yeah. I'm going to talk you through it. What do we see? So on row 1, we see a mother with her baby child. On row 2, and row 3. So we read it as a book, right? So on row 1, we have a mother and a child. And the mother is making faces, happy, silly faces. Now, what we see is the baby is reflecting that behavior. As soon as my mother is smiling, well, okay, I can smile too, and I can make jokes. And this experiment has been done and conducted to prove our empathy and to prove why connection is so important. And on row 2, we start to see that the mother is making a still face, or a stone face, or somebody a few weeks ago called it a resting bitch face. I was like, okay, well, that's okay. And you see what is happening here, right? You can see some doubt in the eyes of the baby. Then here, she keeps continue, and we see doubt is turning into, is it stress? Is it anger? Is it frustration? It's not very close to see, but it's very easy to see that it's at least not happy. Then the third row, she keeps continuing doing this. And then the frustration turns into sadness, into crying. This all happens in the span of 15 seconds. It's a video. Within 15 seconds, all these emotions start to happen. Then, as soon as the baby cries again, she goes laughing again, the mother. Instantly, the kid stops crying, starts to smile again. Why do I say this, and why do I think this is so nice to share? Because the kid doesn't have any values yet. It doesn't have an opinion yet. It's the purest form of communication and reflecting. Now, think about the still face. The still face in 2025 and 2026 is not us, it's digitalization. Our softwares, our systems, they cannot show empathy to our customers. A self-service, a self-checkout cannot show empathy. So as soon as a customer wants to bypass the systems, it faces a still experiment. It faces the still face of the computer. Then our agents, in that connection, they are the mother that keeps smiling. And as soon as the human agent takes in the connection and is helping somebody, our customer starts to smile again. So I want you to be very aware that the software and the programs are still faces here in 2025. Now, how do we make that connection? By pressing a lovely red button. And it shows that we need to put effort into somebody. So as long as we're speaking, we start a conversation, I need to put effort in making and giving you the attention. And I want to call this, right here, right now, the red button theory. If we have every dialogue and we approach it with a sense of awareness, like, hey, now I'm going to put my time and effort into you. 20 seconds. We have a connection. And then we can talk about everything that frustrates you and everything that's relevant. If I'm being laid back and say, oh, how can I help you? And you are being responsive instead of proactive, those 20 seconds will take maybe 20 minutes. So we also lose efficiency. And I want to take you back to February 2025, where I pressed my red button. And not only myself, but also from my colleague, my friend, but also the one who I founded the company, Jordy. And Jordy and we wrote a book. And we wrote a book about being hospitable in a world where softwares and systems are in place. We feel that hospitality is not only for the hotels and the restaurants. No, it's everywhere. It's essential from human to human. And we wrote this book a year and a half ago. And we took all the experience and knowledge that we had. And then in February 2025, it was time to release it. And we invited our mother, our father, and friends and family, but also our clients and our customers and our guests. We were with around 80 to 100 people. It was amazing. It was one of the best days of my life. But 24 hours before, I spoke to Jordy. I said, Jordy, we need to do something, something extra. It's a bit too boring. We had a moderator and a host and a discussion and a panel, and we were sitting. He said, we need to shake it up a little bit. So what we did, we called one of the renting companies, said, we need confetti. And we need a lot of confetti. And we want to have a big red button. So it was all in place. And take a look. This was our red button moment, where we made connection with the people. Now, here on the right, you see the book. And it's been ever since in top 25 of management books, and we're very happy. But what I would like to illustrate, and it's a bit funny, is that connection doesn't have to be perfect. Because what we see here, and I'm going to zoom in, this is one of the confetti poppers. And I can tell you, it's not supposed to fly like that, okay? It should be like this left one, the blue one. So what happened is we put it the other way around in it. It was so funny. And this illustrates like connection, making connection with your customer. It's fun, it's humor from time to time. It can make a mistake. And look at the response of all the faces that are happening. I love this. I can watch from this picture for like an hour because you see constantly new things. This response is connection. So whenever you hit that red button with somebody, you will see you'll get something back. And that's the power of it. If we engage every dialogue, every conversation, and I'm pressing the red button, you'll get response. And hopefully not the confetti popper the other way around, but you'll get response, whether it's revenue, commercial, or whether it's a relationship. Let me zoom out. Now, we've all been quite also abstract, yeah? Attention, the dialogue, connection with each other. I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can start implementing tomorrow at work. And I'm a big fan of something, it needs to feel good. So of these 5 tips, if there's only one that you think, hey, this feels good, I want to put this into practice, please do so. I want you at least to give it a shot. If you try it 3 times tomorrow and the weeks after and think, it doesn't work for me, let it go. Because it's also about being you and the best place at work. So the first one is to give attention. Okay, we talk about the 2 seconds, but I want to talk about the anchor effect. Margareta, she has an amazing first connection. Everything else, the experience, the appointment, the lunch, I don't know what, will be in perspective of that moment. And even though we can make a mistake, because Margareta built up credit for us. So if we anchor our first connection high, we build up credit to somewhere make a small mistake, but everything else will be in perspective of that first contact moment. If that contact moment is low on emotion, low on enthusiasm, the bunker really feels like a bunker with the people inside, then everything else will be low as well. So we make it easy for ourselves to put the red button in the first 2 seconds. Whether it's a call, whether you see your team tomorrow for the first time again, focus on those first 2 seconds and anchor your first connection high. Second one is understanding needs. And understanding needs we can do by listening. We as a human have 3 positions of listening. The first position of listening is the I position. Where if you tell something, a difficult conversation you might have, or if you've been on holiday, oh, I've been also on holiday, the other person said, you know, I've been also to Bali, and I've been also doing this, and oh, have you done this as well? Or when you talk about something that's on your heart, difficult conversation, and somebody captures the conversation, oh, but I would have done this. How does it make you feel? Misunderstood, not being listened to. Next time I won't share my story again because you captured the conversation anyways. It happens, but then it's not a dialogue, it's a monologue. Somebody's talking, I'm talking about it, I'm talking about this, and then I'm talking about this again. 70% of our conversations is happening in the I position because we want to share. But my advice is be a bit more interested in other people and less interested in yourself and start to listen. The second position of listening is the grocery position. Because we can think about 1,200 words. That's the capacity of our brain. But somebody can speak 150 words a minute. So you have plenty of space in your head to think about other stuff. Like I need to do groceries tonight, and tonight is a football game, who's going to win? And then somebody is saying, oh, but this is important, and then you go back into the conversation. But you've been thinking about a whole lot of other stuff apart from that conversation. It happens, it's okay. But remind yourself, I want to get out of the grocery position, or however you want to call it, and go to the third and the final position, and it's the you position, where I use my brain and the capacity to say, okay, how is the nonverbal cues? What are you actually saying towards me? Can I read between the lines? What is your need behind the need? It's tough. It's very difficult to listen in a position like this because you need to be fully focused. But I would like to encourage you to start doing it and to listen on a bird's eye view what is really being said. Next one is to engage in connection. Ask questions, obviously. But I want to talk about 2 types of questions, and I call this cloud to ground questions. So a ground question is something very practical, functional. What steps did you do with this customer? Functional. If you want to engage more in a conversation, go to the cloud and say, how does it make you feel when you took these steps? You go up again. If you want, you can go back down to the ground and you say, okay, and what were the next steps? Or what's going to be the resolution? Or is there any after sales? If you want to go back to the cloud again, how does it make you feel to go about after sales? It's more about the emotion rather than the functional steps. Cloud to ground questions. Spark emotion. Empathy is always reactive. Somebody's saying something and then you initiate. Oh yeah, that's sorry to hear. Oh nice, good job. I want to turn it around. So when you see somebody is acting surprised towards something that's happening, oh, I see you're surprised a little bit. Do I see it right? Somebody will say, oh, yeah, indeed, I'm a bit surprised about what just happened. If you mention it straight away, people will be seen and people will be heard as well. If you're not surprised, but a different emotion, you will say to me, well, no, not Stijn, not surprised, but I'm feeling this and this emotion. So it's a win-win. But this is what I call label the emotion. So whenever you go at work tomorrow and with some team members, proactively label the emotion. Somebody will be seen and heard. Last one, and we can see, right? It's guest. It's not a difficult subject anymore. I want to see that we don't call our employees or our customers just customers and employees, but guests. And if we treat everybody as a guest, we can do many great things. And the last one is to task it. Set an item on the agenda at every briefing. 15 minutes, 15 seconds, doesn't matter. Every day, if we focus on hospitality, taking the next step, share people, what is your red button moment? When did you press the red button for the last time? If we make it a subject, it will grow. Like the tree that we're focusing on getting the leaves up. 2 seconds to anchor the connection. Recap. Listen actively. We have 3 positions. The I position, the grocery position, and the you position. Engage connection, cloud to ground questions, functional questions, or a more emotional question. Spark the emotion, label the emotion, what you see, and set it on the agenda. And to put some action with these words, to task it and set an item on the agenda, I want to give you a small quest for now. Lena, can I ask you to help? We developed something which will also help you to put it on the agenda, because tomorrow we go back to work, and then everything starts to happen, and this all fades away to the back. So what we did is we designed a small postcard, and it's to your future self. There's a few questions on it, like what did you take away from the session today? How will you implement it at work? And what is your desired result? Take a few minutes, put your brain to work. We're going to take away these postcards back again, and you will get them back in 4 to 6 weeks on a random moment. Okay. Werkt die?
Ja.
Super. Yep. Natuurlijk. we het zo nog even over hebben? Ik persoonlijk denk van niet. Nee. Omdat ik vind een systeem is altijd... De still face is het scherm. Dus AI kan wel zeggen, ik vind het heel vervelend voor je. Alleen je weet in je onderbewustzijn dat het een machine is. Daar krijg je geen empathie door. Dat is het still face experiment. Ja. Ja, maar dat mag, dat is goed. Daar wil ik het zo nog over hebben, dat is leuk. Ja. Dit is juist, vind ik ook, er mogen ook verschillende meningen over zijn. Dat vind ik ook oké. Want wat denk jij dat het op die manier wel kan werken? Ja. 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 Zeker. Ja. 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 Ik Ja. 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 Ik denk dat het ook zeker de efficiëntie verhoogt. Ja, dus dat denk ik helemaal. Alleen op het moment dat er iets is wat niet goed gaat, dan is het empathie-stukje van... Ja. Ja, we gaan hem zo nog even pakken. Het wordt interessant. De laatste kaartjes worden nog geschreven. We gaan de kaartjes straks ook innemen en zoals ik zei, die worden dan ook weer teruggestuurd. Er wordt iets interessants hier ook gezegd over AI en empathie. Daar kunnen we zo even mee afsluiten. Ik wil nog een laatste boodschap meegeven. Ja. Oh, sorry. Ja. My God. Brain one takes over, right? Mother language. You're right. Wow, I didn't even notice. Yeah. So it was an interesting question about AI and empathy. And I want to close off the story with this question. I think it's very good. But before I do that, I want to give you a takeaway. Remember we spoke about, right, when something is happening over here, it will be shared to 7 people, to 35 people, and to 105 people. It's our job every day to gain at least one of those experiences that will be shared. Because if we do so, instead of surviving every day, we can thrive. And we can make our customers, we can make our employees even happier than they are right now. And we'll not be the queen of subscriptions, but we also will be the queen of success. And it goes both ways, because subscriptions will be the result of having a hospitable team and a hospitable organization. Please remember, alone you'll go fast, but as a team you'll go very much further. We need everybody, day by day. Checkmate. Thank you very much. I'll leave this slide on. It's about the book. If you want to connect with us on LinkedIn and read more, this is what we love to do. We also give presentations, workshops, and trainings. But there's an interesting question over here that can AI give us the empathy that we need? Does anybody has an idea of empathy and AI? What do you think? Can AI give you the empathy that we need in these days?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because in the end, if you're, if as a customer or as a guest,
Yeah.
You have the knowledge that it's not a person, then it feels well, fake. It doesn't feel genuine.
Yeah, doesn't feel genuine.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. Anybody else sees it differently? Good one, thank you. Yeah.
I'm not saying that I like it.
No, that's okay.
But I think in about 2 or 3 years maybe already, it's basic empathy will be possible.
Yeah.
Not for very delicate or complicated situations, but basic empathy. That a person that will ask a question via a bot or via something will just ask a question and will feel that he or she is being understood and being acknowledged in their feelings. Simple feelings about my paper didn't arrive or something like that. I think that's possible in a few years.
And how does it look then, the empathy? Is it saying, oh, I'm sorry that this has happened and we're going to rectify it?
That is very simple, but it could also yeah, I think it's still in pretty simple words. It's not in complicated and delicate situations. Not yet.
I like the way of approaching a basic empathy, and if it goes up as an iceberg, that's when you need the human side of the agent.
But I also think it depends on the audience. I think younger people experience concepts like privacy, empathy, totally different than we do. This is not genuine. For young people, it's like, I don't care. It's a bot. Okay, if it's a bot, it's a bot. So depends on.
It's a good nuance, definitely, and that's what you mentioned also, generations. Can you elaborate what you told me? Because I thought it was very...
You have different generations. Younger people doesn't want to call anymore. They want to, they talk to their smartphone, to ChatGPT. What do I have to do? Where is something good to happen? They don't call anymore. They ask it to their virtual agent. So when you have older, you have to mention that AI, it's a virtual agent. And when there is a moment that the virtual agent isn't responding, not in reply of the elder people, there has to be a human fallback, I think. But you see now the youth, the youngeren, they don't want to call. They ask always at their virtual agent in Snapchat, in WhatsApp, every place. So they already talk to a bot. So I think there is a basic empathy for the moment, but even that basic, it's gonna be better and better, I think. But we have to start now, I think.
Are you already in the game? Did you already start?
We have already a chatbot with some AI in it, but we have to go further with
develop it further.
And experiment.
Anybody else an opinion? AI and empathy? I see you thinking. It's difficult, huh?
Much more the first row. I'm still thinking. On a very low range, but it's only for today. You never know. It can be 5 years later.
If we had a glass of wine we can look into in the future, it would be lovely. So yes, a certain type of empathy, 100%, but it will be very, platonisch, as we say in Dutch, very on the surface. Yes, we can give a kind of empathy, but you always have in the back, in your subconscious, I'm talking to a machine, I'm talking to a software. And yes, the new generation, they know privacy is different than what we are used to. So in our book, we also wrote about Gen Z. And yes, digitization is one of the core things. But what we now start to see, and we spoke to different teachers and professors teaching to Gen Z, but also to Gen Alpha, already the new ones, is that they start to see an aversion being created about technology. So we see a few Gen Zers, they're already removing Snapchat. They're removing Instagram because they want to go back to basic. We see that Gen Z, they were focused on climate. They were the ones to be sustainable, to focus the climate. They think, why are we the generation? So they don't make choices based on sustainability and on climate. So a basic empathy, yes, but as a human to human, we always need the feeling of I'm being heard and I'm being seen. And only a human agent can give that actual feeling. So I thought it was a very valid point. A basic level of empathy, I feel you, I see you. Up until this point, we don't know what the future will bring. but we as a human being always will make the difference in the end, especially if something occurs. That something goes wrong or is not scripted as we like to see. Good question. Yeah, thanks. We have 5 more minutes. We can either use it to go to the restroom, we can use it to another question, we can get some tea, coffee before we wrap up. I see some nodding, yeah, tea and coffee. Good. Thank you guys for today. Thank you very much.